Preface. Why have I decided to write a book? Because every day in every industry, I watch our busy world and our busyness kill the art of communication. Communication is how you and I understand each other and manage to get our needs met. If you don't communicate well, you simply don't get what you want. As a fractional chief marketing officer, a speaker, and the CEO of a marketing agency, I've worked closely with hundreds of CEOs and business development teams in the last 10 years, and I see communication sabotage as a leading problem, even a leading indicator in sales plateaus, revenue declines, slim margins, culture breakdowns, and high turnover. Every day, I see a desire to rush through communication in the name of making progress on your to-do lists. But what happens when you realize too late that the people around you didn't understand what you said? You have to rewind, rework, and redo. Now, extend this repetitive loop of misunderstanding into your business development, where your prospective customers don't understand you. You end up with expensive marketing campaigns, a lack of quality leads, extremely long sales cycles, unreliable projections, missed quotas, client churn, and disillusioned employees. Your organization and your personal work life can and should be better than this. I wrote this book for the leaders, marketers, and sales professionals in business to business, or B2B, industries who want more results, more satisfaction, more sanity, and are asking themselves, does growth really have to be this hard? When you harness the power of communication and align it through your marketing and sales, and ideally across your entire organization, the results are spectacular. Great communication is critical to great business success, and I want to give you a system for leveraging communication in your marketing and sales. I've seen firsthand in small and large companies alike how a true communication transformation can result in a financial transformation. This approach helped a European manufacturing company turn around a failing U.S. entry strategy. It's helped IT experts get elusive C-suite meetings with the world's largest companies. One executive coach ended a dry spell when he rewrote his sales script, resulting in 4 ideal clients in less than 2 months. I've assisted numerous companies in attracting investors and buyers by improving their messages and brands. This approach has even helped HR departments attract and retain top talent by energizing their communications. The possibility of moving from pain to prosperity is exhilarating, not only because success feels good, but because there's a lot more at stake than dollars and deals. Work problems don't stay contained within the square footage of people's offices. The people behind these struggles take their frustration home. Their stress affects their families, and they begin to disengage from both their work and their joy. Seeing these scenarios firsthand reminds me of the 2006 Adam Sandler movie Click. In the movie, Michael, played by Sandler, a businessman and family man, is impatient for success and generally unsatisfied in his life. He's given a remote control that allows him to fast forward through the frustrating or boring parts of his life. As he uses the remote, it learns his preferences, and before long, he has gone into autopilot so frequently in his day-to-day life that it's cost him his family, his enjoyment, and eventually his life. Much of what he chooses to skip are the tedious details and mundane conversations. But life happens in those details and conversations. I'm sad to say that I'm watching this metaphor play out in real offices, homes, and Zoom calls more and more frequently, and it must stop. Who we are happens in the cracks and crevices of our waking hours. What we stand for is exemplified in our choices and actions every day, not someday. This is just as true at the organizational level as it is at the individual level. When we fast forward through our communication, personal, team, sales, marketing, we miss the opportunities we've been waiting for to provide clarity, pique curiosity, build a connection, elicit a response, and show up in our full potential. Additionally, communication isn't just about our own effectiveness. It can also be a gift we receive when we listen. If you desire to be a student of life, you must be open to the wisdom around you, even if it's not what you want to hear. I share this from experience. When I worked for DeWalt Power Tools right out of college, I was neck deep in the frustration many women feel in male-dominated industries. But I was lucky to have managers who were willing to tell me the truth when I tried to emulate the masculine way of communicating, which did not work for me. That lesson has made me effective and successful in a dozen male-dominated industries today and has saved me from unhelpful bitterness. When I worked in pharmaceutical sales, I had to learn how to maximize 30-second interactions with physicians and learned very quickly how to get attention and help people remember my message. When we moved from Atlanta, Georgia to Corpus Christi, Texas for my husband's career, I was drowning in isolation and dirty diapers while my husband was on cloud 9 in his newfound success and adventure. I had to learn that I was communicating resentment so clearly that I was turning our house into an environment as toxic as a nuclear accident. 2 decades later, I still use that lesson to be the best wife, mom, and leader I can possibly be. Each time, I had to learn to look at communication in a new light by slowing down and choosing to understand over being understood. And once I did understand, the key to success and joy was mine. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm still writing a business book. But the truth of the matter is that this communication deterioration is a human condition. Business leaders are human. Employees are human. Customers are human. The communication patterns we develop or don't develop because of our fast-forward inclinations affect everything. There is rarely a real difference between how we communicate in our personal lives and how we communicate in our business lives. It's all personal. In The Purpose-Driven Life, Rick Warren writes, often we act as if relationships are something to be squeezed into our schedule. We talk about finding time for our children or making time for people in our lives. That gives the impression that relationships are just a part of our lives along with many other tasks. But God says relationships are what life is all about. Think about that. Nothing else matters but how you treat people. Countless movies, stories, and personal anecdotes tell us that life's regrets are always and only about lost relationships. Yet we organize our time, attention, and money around tasks, activities, and the acquisition of things. I just have to get this off my list, is the common refrain among adults in all stages and stations of life. Our nature is created for relationships. Every business in existence serves other people. If a business doesn't meet a need or desire of another human being, it will go out of business. But many of our businesses are not purposefully in alignment with this idea. Your communication is a signal of what matters most to you. Owning your communication, heck, simply gaining awareness of your communication can send off a positive cascade of change in your life and in your business. To own your communication, you need to be intentional in the words, visuals, and processes that tell your story, as well as how you distribute these communications to the market. These intentional choices then need to be given to both your marketing and sales teams so they have the clarity they need to best engage the market. Your communication is an extension of who you are and what you believe. People buy from those they know, like, and trust. Is your communication helping people to know, like, and trust you? My experience in both my personal life and my professional life has taught me that great communication is the outward tool that we can use to create profoundly positive changes in our lives, in our businesses, and in the world at large. I hope that as you read this book, it serves you in 2 ways. First, I want to help business leaders achieve success in a saner and more profitable way by strategically aligning their marketing and sales communications. And second, I hope that you will experience a paradigm shift and harvest lessons that can expand your influence and your whole life. If you choose to act on the advice herein, not only will this book help you stop the waste of marketing dollars, loss of sales opportunities, and the maddening frustration of slow progress, but you will enrich the journey itself for everyone involved.